This Paparotti recipe is very special to me. It's the way my Nana and his brothers made their Paparotti after long days or nights of cooking Busup Shot roti for weddings and prayers. The last loya was always made into a Paparotti or a sugar roti for the cooks to enjoy. This video is my way of honoring my Nana and the rich culinary traditions that were passed on in my family. Let's make some long-time Paparotti Nana style. There are 3 types that I know of. The one I grew up eating, then there's the one that's similar to the garlic herb paratha that I shared last year, and then the most popular one that's similar to aloo puri. All 3 are delicious and I'll show you how to make them in this video. Which one's your favorite? First, we have to make the paratha or Busup Shot dough. I have 1.5 pounds of all-purpose flour here, which is about 5.5 cups. To the flour, I'm adding baking powder and salt. I'll also add some ghee. Nana would always use ghee or fern leaf butter in his roti, and when they stopped carrying the fern leaf butter, he started using anchor butter. So he always used really good quality butter in the roti. Anytime I smell ghee or butter, I feel like I'm transported back in time to a world where my Nana existed. Now you want to bring the dough together using some warm water, and I'm using a little over 2 cups here, but remember that the brand of flour and the humidity of where you live will change this, so you might need more or less depending on where you live. You're not looking for perfection here, you just want to pull the dough together like this. Then you're going to coat it with a little bit of ghee or oil and then cover it with a damp paper towel and let it sit there for about an hour while you prep your other ingredients. After an hour, weigh the dough and separate it into 4 loyas. I did 5 so I could show you how to make an easy version using 1 loya. Let it rest for about 10 minutes again. Now make a green seasoning blend using your favorite herbs. I'm using bandania or shadow benny. You could use cilantro if you can't find this, pudina, hot peppers, and a roasted hot pepper too, pimento peppers, and garlic. And I'm pulsing this in my mini chopper. Now to some ghee, I'm adding a little bit of salt and some of that green seasoning pepper mix that I made. And if you don't want to use ghee, you can also substitute it with a good quality salted butter. So in that case, you'll omit the salt. Mix that to get everything combined, and now it's time to make those Busup Shot cones. Roll out a loya about 8 inches in diameter and spread a tablespoon of that seasoned ghee mixture. Sprinkle with some flour, make a slit, and roll it into a cone just like when you're making Busup Shot. Now this Busup Shot is usually cooked as it is with no fillings, similar to the garlic herb paratha I showed you. So once this is rested, you're going to roll it out, cook it on the tower, bust it up, and you'll see those lovely specks of green seasoning, red peppers, and it's going to be so yummy. Nana made it very simple, only with the ghee or butter, so I'm showing you different options that you could use. Laminating the dough with fat is what creates those soft and silky layers. And we're not busting up these roti today, but it's still gonna add delicious layers of flavor to our Paparotti. After making the cones, let them rest again, and yeah, lots of rest happening today, but as I take a rest too. So first, I'm gonna make the modern Paparotti with the aloo filling. Here I have some boiled aloo or potatoes, and I'll add some salt and the green seasoning pepper mixture that we made earlier. You can add some roasted ground jeera in there too, but I don't like it in Paparotti, so I didn't add it. Mash and mix and add some cheese and shredded carrots. I like to add some cheese in the aloo mixture too, so it's nice and cheesy all the way through. This looks so yummy already. Roll out one of the loyas and set it aside. Now roll out another one and then paste a layer of that seasoned aloo filling and then top it with some cheese. Add the first rolled out loya on top and then press to seal the ends. And I like to stretch the dough a little bit with my hands before putting it on top so that it doesn't retract. Now for Nana's Paparotti. Now you want to roll out the 2 loyas like we did before, and I'm using the plain paratha here without the seasoning because we're actually using that same seasoned ghee to paste inside the roti before we add the veggies. My brother used to help Nana cook, so I asked him to tell me what he remembered seeing, and I was only 7 when Nana passed, so I didn't get to learn a lot from him, so I usually ask everyone around to tell me things about him and to share some of his recipes with me. Before adding veggies, he would paste the dough with regular ghee or butter. So I'm using this seasoned ghee just to enhance the flavor a little bit more and just to add my touch to Nana's recipe. Now add the sliced veggies on top, and my mom distinctly remembers Nana cutting the sweet peppers and onions in rings and shredding the carrots. And for the hot pepper, I just sliced it thinly, but you can cut it into tiny pieces and sprinkle it all over. Then top it with cheese. Usually New Zealand cheddar is used. We call this market cheese or Trini cheese. You can use whatever cheese you have access to. Then seal it with the next dough, and I forgot the cheese here, so I quickly added it. So because I'm filming a recipe, I stuffed all the Paparottis and set them aside. But ideally, you want to cook this as soon as you stuff it. If you want to do it my way, make sure it's floured underneath because it can get sticky, especially if your house is kind of on the humid side. The last one is like a big aloo pie. You want to roll out that 1 loya, place your preferred filling on half of it, then fold it over and seal the edges. Easy peasy. I guess this is like a kind of lazy Paparotti if you don't feel like rolling out 2 loyas, or even if you don't have space to roll out 2 loyas, just roll out this one, fold it in half, and you're good to go. You can also buy store-bought tortilla shells and fill it just like this. Just don't do it when you're fasting because tortilla shells are usually made with lard. Now it's time to cook these babies. I'm using my hex-clad griddle here to cook the first one, and I think this might be a bad idea because the roti size is exactly the size of the griddle. I oil the griddle with some avocado oil and I'll finish it with some ghee. Cook this on medium heat because you want the roti to cook well and the veggies to soften. This will take about 5 minutes in total. Once the roti gets nice and toasted, it's time to take it off. I actually switched to my outdoor griddle because the other one wasn't cut at it. Of course you can use a tower, but I use this Blackstone griddle in place of a tower and it works great. When the rotis are nearly finished, I brush with a little bit of ghee. And while this was cooking, just the aroma transported me back in time. The first person I ever made this Paparotti from was my Nana. In my eyes, he and my grandmother were the most amazing cooks, and seeing their passion for food and culture inspired everything I do on this channel. It's best to eat this roti while it's hot and the cheese is melted. This is the aloo pie looking one, and then Kevin already took a slice of the first one. You can cut it in triangles or squares or however you like. The roti has a nice crunch on the outside, but yet it's so soft and flaky on the inside with those yummy fillings and the melty cheese. This one is the star of the show. This is Nana's longtime Paparotti. I remember it being served in squares or rectangles like this, so that's how I'll cut it. The veggies are perfectly tender, not too soft or not too hard. This is the Paparotti I remember. I hope I've brought back memories for some of you. Please share them in the comments below. I am so happy that I could share Nana's recipe with you, and I hope you try it out. My goal is and has always been to share the traditions and recipes that were passed on in my family. And I'm so happy that I can carry on Nana's love for culinary preservation. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It really helps me to see what type of videos you'll like. Leave some comments below and subscribe if you haven't, so you'll see all my latest videos. I have lots of Diwali recipes coming up, so stay tuned. Until next time, bye!